So before we go on, we gotta taste this. This is the 2013 Keller Estate La Cruz Vineyard, which is the name of the vineyard right down here. Sonoma Coast Pinot Gris. So here's the thing: is can white wines like Pinot Gris be aged? Well, interesting question. Absolutely. It's just they have an essence about them that's very elegant, sophisticated. It's like great high-class Sauvignon Blanc that can be aged. Mm-hmm. It tastes a little bit different as it ages, but the key is it's got to have acidity. It's got to have acidity, or else it just turns into grape juice, and it's not very good, and I don't even know if I'd cook with it, to be really honest. But this is a good example, so let's talk about this.
So I chose a 2013. It was a kind of a really nice harvest. It was just smooth. Things were going well for harvest. We picked it a bit riper than we normally do. Because it's such a small production, it also gives us the chance to play around and experiment and do different things every year until we find, as a winemakers, we want to explore. We want things that keep us creative and that we can experiment different little things that we do every year to see how we can make better wines. Yeah. So for me, this is a really great example of that mineral oil that I elusively look for. But many times you don't find that component until the wine is aged for a few years. Yeah. So it does age beautifully in bottle, which is why it's important to cellar things correctly.
Yeah. And you might also notice this is totally an Alsatian style bottle. This is like the style of Alsace. It's not the kind of like a Sauvignon Blanc bottle, which looks a lot more like a Bordeaux bottle, which is kind of where Sauvignon Blanc was famous, as well as in
Loire Valley.
And
where you see Pinot Grigio, many times that's the same shape that a Pinot Grigio bottle will have.
Absolutely, especially the Alta Adige and those kinds of Pinot Gris from the north up there, which are really complex and really interesting, So, I mean, just on the nose, what I get, it's a little bit different, is it does have that little touch of pie crust and a little bit of custard on it. So it's kind of taken that and it's become a little bit more rich in kind of profile. This is something that I think I would probably do with kind of more of a cream-based salad, or sorry, not salad, but soup. Richness. I had one that recently that was so good. That was kind of that Jerusalem artichoke, which is what do we call that? Sunchokes. Sorry, sunchokes, which was pureed and had a little bit of truffle oil on it and some kind of toasted herbs on top of that.
Nice.
And hello. Or think about lobster bisque, something like that, which is really great. So something that's a little bit more creamier, rounder, and going with a complex wine like this.
You know what I do? A very simple avocado cream. And
did you say avocado? One of my favorite things in the world. Oh.
I know, and it's great. And if you just add a little bit of some hazelnuts on top, that it gives it that crunchiness. Yeah. And I think people always forget that wine also needs to be paired with soups.
Yeah. Well, in contrast, I might do this with avocado toast. Oh, did I say that? Yes, I did. So I think that you've got everything, and you can go around my diet, which has a lot of avocados in it, and I love avocados. Besides, on my grave, Sawyer Sommelier to the stars, and
Godfather of the Petaluma Gap.
Godfather of the Petaluma Gap on the bottom. Avocado lover, and I have told my wife if I'm going to die, one of the last things I want to eat is avocados. Just so you guys know, too. Thank you. But, oh my God, what a nose. What a great flavor. It just has that kind of natural richness, and it's almost more indicative of this vineyard, and it's almost got that minerality is now changing into just straight minerals.
And this wine has just a tiny touch of residual sugar. You don't really taste any sweetness, but it just adds to that softness and to that. Just look at our glasses. Yeah. It does have that weight to it.
Well, this is amazing wine, and it's great to taste it right here, looking out at the vineyard. Keller Estate, you guys, kellerestate.com. You can find them and buy some of these amazing wines, which I love. And I'm so happy I live near it, but I wanted to introduce you to it as well, and to explain a lot more about Pinot Gris and the Petaluma Gap, and why this estate is really special to me and to other people that collect these wines and just buy a ton of this. But why it's also food friendly. So, Anna, thank you for this issue and this little new episode of the Varietal Show. Thanks for joining us, you guys. I'll be back soon, and do not forget, this is a brand to know Keller Estate right here, Petaluma. Ching!